At the end of a century, ravaged by violence, a society of perfect order will arise. Criminals will be frozen and reprogrammed in cryogenic prisons.
The prisoners are ice cubes. Their criminal instincts are being reprogrammed as they sleep.
Aggression and deviant behavior will be totally eliminated.
He's a criminal the likes of which you have never seen. In a bad time, he was the worst.
I'm gonna love running this place.
But in the year 2032...
This morning, Simon Phoenix escaped from this cryo facility. We are, quite frankly, not equipped to deal with the situation.
Amidst a world of peace and calm...
We're police officers. We're not trained for this kind of violence.
How was the fiendish Simon Phoenix apprehended back in the 20th?
In the end, it took just one man, John Spartan.
You mean the Demolition Man?
The conditions of your parole are full reinstatement into the SAPD and immediate assignment to the apprehension of Simon Phoenix.
Two mortal enemies.
Just dropped in to say hi.
From another time.
Pass is overtime.
That isn't big enough for the both of them. Sylvester Stallone. Wesley Snipes. Demolition Man.
Welcome to Monday Night Mayhem, where we're doing Demolition Man, and with me tonight is the Spartan Helpdesk. Hello there, sir. I understood that. You're speaking Stallonese.
Oh, sorry, I've been meaning to get rid of that all day. Hello, good evening, chat. Good evening, Trev.
Hello, chat. How are you lot doing? Yeah? I tell you what, I think for a change, we'll have the chat flying up and down with us tonight. Hello to the dark room. Also, Franco Walker's in there. He's wrenched. Who else have we got in there? Gavin Blackburn, Timey Wimey Limey, Ashen Prism as well, amongst others. So hello to everybody in the chat. And we're doing Demolition Man. It's a slice of American pop culture from 1993, directed by Marco Brambilla. And strangely enough, I noticed something. Oh, crikey, the guy who edited it. Do you know who edited this movie? Yeah, Helpdesk.
No.
Stuart Baird. Does that name ring a bell?
Is he the Star Trek guy?
He's the guy who directed Nemesis, yeah?
Yeah, blimey. I knew I'd heard the name before somewhere.
So it's got a runtime of 115 minutes. Budget was up to 77 million. And it made a return of 159.1 million, which I don't think's bad going, really, for a film in 1993.
That is actually pretty good. I quite like, yeah. Yeah, I'd say that it was profitable.
Yes, I went to the UCI cinema in Sheffield at Crystal Peaks to see this back in the day. I was out on a date, and thanks to this movie, I got lucky.
See, this movie came out, I was 12 at the time.
Oh.
So I didn't actually see it in the cinema. Of course, I caught it on VHS probably about a year later.
Ah, well, that's good. Thank you to video shops that were still around back in the day. Also, hello to Feltz5 in the chat. Melvin Deepley's in there. Also, Not Brian. And I'm looking forward to conversing with the chat tonight and seeing what they've got to say about this movie. Any particular memories, guys? You're live on screen, so, you can be a bit more immersive and a bit more interactive tonight before we kick off with the slides. Crikey, you were 12 when this film came out.
Oh, yeah, 93.
You're only a young shaver, sir.
Indeed. I feel like I've been frozen in time and thawed out now as well.
Yeah, I always say that. When you get up in the morning, you're like, ugh. In fact, you like Stallone first thing in the morning, and I always say, yeah, I'm just thawing out.
Yeah, also sound like it was very cool.
Timey Wimey Limey says in the chat, movies that helped Trev get his end away, volume 23. Nice. I like that. Let me try and expand this a little bit further. So we start in Los Angeles in the year 1996 of all times.
Fun fact, this wasn't actually the original beginning of the movie.
Really? How so?
The movie actually started in the future in 2032.
All right. Were these supposed to be flashbacks then?
No, this wasn't actually in it at all. The whole thing just started in 2032. And then I can't remember who it was, but I think it was one of the directors said, there's no point showing Oz if you don't know what Kansas looks like.
True.
And so they filmed all this back in. And I think this is sort of like drone shots, helicopter shots from just after the riots that happened. Because that was sort of like in 1992 as well.
Manuel Greel says in the chat, looking for advice on how to use the 3 seashells. Now, somebody sent me an infographic on how to use the 3 seashells.
I did actually look that up. I believe Sylvester Stallone has said exactly the same thing before now.
I don't think that would work out very well, to be fair.
I don't even want to try it. I don't want to know. I wish I could. Yeah, don't want to. Look it up yourself. I'm not explaining it.
I'm not even going there.
Yes.
Because how are you supposed to flush shells? Doesn't even work, does it?
No.
So anyway, we start in the year 1996, Los Angeles, and this is just for you, Pete. Have you noticed that in the background? Does that look like the Tyrell Corporation building there in the background? That pyramid of light? Yeah, that's very Blade Runner-ish, isn't it?
I think this was in the time when everyone liked doing sort of like cool looking helicopter shots. So I think, it's like nice bit of. I mean, obviously the Hollywood sign has never been on fire, so
not yet anyway.
Yeah,
still time.
Indeed.
So anyway, here's where we pick up basically the action. There's been a bus full of people kidnapped by notorious gangster Simon Phoenix. Played by Wesley Snipes, as typical bad guys in movies go. I think Wesley Snipes approached this a lot differently. Yeah,
it was. I mean, he was a good fit. They tried to get Steven Seagal.
Oh God!
Luckily enough, he turned it down.
Oh, that guy's a prick.
Who was the other guy they tried? They tried to get Jackie Chan. But Jackie Chan will never play a bad guy.
Yeah.
So he turned it down as well.
Jet Li might have made a good alternative, but he wasn't around at the time.
Very cool.
Anyway,
let's go.
The only person who seems to be able to get anywhere with this Simon Phoenix is Detective John Spartan, known locally as the Demolition Man because, let's see, when he cracks open a boiled egg, he's the kind of bloke that uses a JCB, to be fair.
Is that not how you're supposed to open an egg?
No.
Oh.
No, not the last time I checked. Yes. So anyway, this is all like Simon Phoenix's territory. And it looks a pleasant place. He's basically taken over Hollywood and a bit of Bel Air and Beverly Hills and all that kind of shit. So there's John Spartan getting ready to do his usual thing. He's going to bungee jump in. It's a shame it's not a budgie. He'd be able to do some budgie jumping then, wouldn't he? Here all week, chaps. So anyway, he makes a nice safe landing and he cracks on doing what he does. And he's out for Simon Phoenix. And there's some of his cronies start shooting away at him, as they do. And he just basically mows through them all. This is where John Spartan confronts Simon Phoenix, but it looks a bit damp on the floor and there's lots of cylinders about. It's funny that. It's not at all like it's not a cliche at all, is it? If you think about it. There's no cliches at all in this film. It's totally original.
No. Absolutely.
There's nothing derivative at all. Ashton Prism says the original Spartan super soldier. Well, yeah, you never know. So anyway, he's a cocky prick, this Simon Phoenix. What we don't know up until this point is that he's basically tipped a load of petrol on the floor. He must be loaded to be able to do that with petrol.
What were the prices of it in '93?
Dirt cheap.
I was going to say cheaper than it is now.
Yeah. Phelps 5 says in the chat he can pull that blonde hair off. Well, I don't know. He does look a bit of a doink.
The only downside is that Dennis Rodman based his look on Phoenix. So yes, we have this movie to thank for Dennis Rodman going absolutely crazy.
God. And he looked a wreck. So anyway, Simon Phoenix chucks his ciggy away. Spartan's in, that's got to be at least 70 quid's worth of petrol. I'm jealous. This guy's that loaded, he can spread it around everywhere. I can barely afford to fill my tank up. Jammy bastards. So anyway, a bit of a battle ensues around the fire, and it's just basically he's slapping him around. He wants to know where these hostages are. But in a way, Simon Phoenix he's doing him a double dirty, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll tell you what I am going to do, just temporarily. I'm going to take the chat off the screen. Do you know, I'm rubbish at driving this bloody thing. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Let me go back. I hope it doesn't start from the beginning. And it bloody well has. And it bloody well has. The bastard.
Whilst you're getting back up to date, another little thing I found out. You know the bungee jump he does from the helicopter?
Yeah.
They're not actually allowed to do a bungee jump from a helicopter because the rope tensioning up would actually tip the helicopter over. Really?
Yeah, I can imagine that.
So it would have just kind of gone off on a wonky direction and probably killed him.
Yeah, well, it's movie land. You've got to let your imagination stretch a tiny
Oh,
little
absolutely.
bit. So this fight carries on. He's still not revealing where the bus passengers are. Who kidnaps a bus? Is it the number 17? I'm not telling you nothing.
We've lost the 501 to Blue Water.
And have you noticed what? Look at that. It's got drums of C4. Good luck, because it's not technically flammable.
No.
Not by those means, anyway.
It's a high-impact explosive. You need
It needs a shock detonator.
Exactly.
So he knocks him out and he carries him out. Wouldn't you have just left him? If that'd been me, I'd have thought, fuck him, just leave him.
Yeah. I think it's that whole idea. It's sort of like he doesn't want to be a killer, and if he'd left him, then he would have died through inaction, which I think is against the moral code of movie
been
police.
a case of tough titty, I'm afraid, in my book.
Yeah, maybe that.
That doesn't at all look like an atypical movie set, does it?
Kaboomski, indeed.
So big explosion. There we go, and that's the end of that. And this guy says, we didn't find the hostages. And Phoenix is like, well, you've just blown him up, mate. So he's not too chuffed about that, is he, really? Let's face it.
Oh, I'll tell you what, you cut out the bit where they do a heat scan of the building and it doesn't show anybody.
Yeah, funny that. And yet he gets done for it anyway. Not very fair. So then we rolls the credits, monsieur.
With fantastic theme tune.
It is. It's quite dramatic.
I'm
still in shock. I'm still in shock about music. The whole fact that Going for Gold was written by Hans Zimmer. That has blown me away.
Oh, yeah. Good fact.
So in this particular universe's timeline, instead of going to jail, you go into a cryo prison where you're frozen and your mind's slowly reprogrammed over time. So Spartan's being told, well, you're getting frozen, mate. And it's quite an impressive scene, isn't it? They fill him full of this cryogenic liquid, and they chuck one of those little, like a dishwasher pod, but it's like almost, you know, the red matter droplets in the crappy reboot of Star Trek.
Yeah,
it's almost like that, but blue.
Yeah, actually, I never thought of that.
Yeah. So Spartan's alive and in perfect hibernation. That's a good line. Where did I pinch that from? So anyway, he's nicely taken care of. Did you know?
Star Wars.
Yeah. You know when they built that particular model of Stallone?
They built several of them, actually.
He had the penis.
Oh yeah, they enlarged it, didn't they? I remember reading that.
Yeah.
Yes.
They made his schlong a lot longer.
He He insisted on it, if I remember right.
Yeah. He wanted at least 9-inch slag. What a vain bastard.
Well, I mean, someone's gonna want to look.
Yeah, but
aren't they?
Sylvester Stallone's only 5'1". He'd look like a fucking tripod.
So yeah, for anyone who's not sure, that's actually a model. That's not actually Sylvester Stallone.
No.
And they made several of them, and I think there are a few which are hanging up in Planet Hollywoods at the moment.
I don't think I want to look at his meat and two
I
veg while I'm
wouldn't-
eating meat and two veg, to be fair.
True.
Well, it's still very good. It's very lifelike. I mean, this
It
is 1993.
I mean, you can see it's a little bit kind of rubbery fake, but in the movie, when it's moving and the camera's panning and stuff, it goes past quick enough that you don't notice.
Yeah. So this is that's his release date, isn't it? August 3rd, 2032.
2032, yeah.
Oh, that far away.
Oh God, no, it's not.
Not
is it?
that far away. I'm neglecting the chat. I do apologise. Franco Walker, hello there, sir. I hope you're enjoying your new wrench. Says, please subscribe and hit the bell, share and hit like and select live chat. That would be really, really good. Gavin Blackburn. Oh, you ding dong. Trev sent the chat to his nether regions. Oh dear. Ash and Prism. This is good. Long Schlong Silver.
Fair. Rambona.
Oh, Pete's come out with a good one. Garlic bread. It's the future. Oh, that is shit.
What, garlic? On bread?
What, bread with garlic?
Bread with garlic.
Are you sure? It is. It's the future. I've seen it. That's a great one. I'd almost forgot until Brian had just reminded me here. Rest in peace, Henry Kelly. Yes, he did pass away last week, didn't he?
He did.
He liked his betting on horses during the filming of Going for Gold. He was often found going missing, and he was actually on the phone to the bookies.
Oh, blind, really?
Yeah.
God.
I can't imagine an Irishman having a gambling addiction of any variety.
No, of course not.
I wouldn't like to stereotype people. Sorry, Tater, if you watch this on the re-rub. So anyway, parole time. If Simon Phoenix has been sentenced to eternity in the freezer, why is he even being thawed out, I wonder? Maybe there's an ulterior motive for Simon Phoenix being thawed out. Well, this prison director, this warden here, he's a bit of a knob, really. They all seem to be in the future. Well, this is Lenina Huxley. She's going to be very important to the narrative of the film. And she's just checking in because she's got a bit of a 20th century fetish. So she's checking up on all these 20th century bad guys who are in cryo-freeze. And there's a bit of an irony. Later in the film, Simon Phoenix says, Jeffrey Dahmer, I love that guy. But by this point, hadn't he been murdered in jail?
I'm not sure on the timeline of that. But potentially it is around the same time, isn't it?
Because he got killed with a broomstick.
Yes.
I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to...
What, kill someone with a broomstick?
I'm going to ask Google, because there seems to be something wrong with my boggle. When was Jeffrey Dahmer murdered? 1994.
Jeffrey Dahmer died on the 28th of November, 1994.
Thank you. So it was a year later. So he couldn't have been in 2032. He'd already been dead.
He couldn't. He wasn't alive in 1996 either.
True. Funny that.
The past, which was the future to when the movie was made.
Maybe it's
Before
an
they go into
alternate
the
reality. So we're in the future. Look at all these electric cars.
Very cool.
Everybody loves electric cars. And this is basically the utopia that is San Andreas. Is that what it is? Yeah, it is, isn't it? San Angeles, sorry. San Angeles. Sort of like a very sparsely populated megacity between San Francisco and Los Angeles. It doesn't look too bad.
And Santa Barbara, if I remember, because there was three cities joined together.
That's not a bad map, really, is it?
No, it's pretty good. Fair. Wouldn't mind living there.
Yeah. So we've got a bit of ethical plaza. I like that. A bit of graffiti going on. And it says life is hell. EF. I wonder who EF is. We'll work his way around that one. Everybody in the chat knows who it is anyway. And I love how there's these little periscope things keep popping up.
Yeah.
You know?
Very
that
cool.
gearing looks very complex, doesn't it, for the era?
Yeah, it's very, very industrial. Very fit for purpose.
Oh, Flav's in the chat now as well. Hello there, Flav. Timey-wimey-limey. What does Pete say now? He says, good point. That means back in 1996, it was already a parallel universe. He likes a bit of a time twister.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd throw that one in there. Because it's nice. All these films make these subtle errors and mistakes, but you can't see into the future, can you? So it's just one of them things. So somebody's having a look around there. That says Cuisine Valley on the side of it. And this is EF, Edgar Friendly, played by Dennis Leary. He's pretty good in this film, but he does his bit, doesn't he? He does his trademark little rant thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that always works. But this is San Angeles PD. In fact, that is the Baxter Building, if I remember right.
In Orange County?
And that was the so-called location of the firm in Airwolf. The firm used that building, didn't they, in Airwolf? Not for real, like, but...
No, but I mean, the external is, the outside is very, very cool.
Yeah, so this is Lenina Huxley again. And I like Benjamin Bratt in this movie, because he starts off, he's a bit like a fucking Teletubby, isn't he? He's a bit childlike, and he's got that bewildered wonderment about him.
Well, they all are. I think that's one of the whole points. The fact that because there's no crime anymore, the police don't know what to do.
Yeah, they're all pretty bored, aren't they?
They're all pretty bored and Teletubby and childish because, what do they do all day?
Well, just sit round drinking coffees and crapping into seashells.
Yeah, fair play.
I don't believe that's how that works. You're supposed to use it like a clam, and
you clip it with the first two, make sure you're empty, and then wipe away the rest with the third.
Yeah. So Benjamin Bratt plays Alfredo Garcia, and he loves jingles and old commercials from the 20th. I like how the 20th century is referred to. But if you look at that, she's got all this memorabilia. Like Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon 3. I'm just trying to see what's in that display case there. Can't quite make it out. It would have been cool if it had been Optimus Prime. So anyway, back at the cryo prison, the warden there has got Simon Phoenix all thawed out. And
good night, Franco. Have a good evening.
Is Franco off? Thank you for joining us, Franco. Take care, matey. Hopefully you'll get to watch this on the, what was it, the re-rub? I'm getting used to that one now. Indeed. I always think of The Running Man. I'll be back, only in a rerun.
Very cool.
So Simon Phoenix knows the magic word to get out of his restraint system. And he grabs hold of the prison warden and kicks everybody's ass. And he uses that fountain pen to pry his eye out so he can get out of prison, as you do. And for the first time in absolute decades, there's a murder-death-kill, which is quite funny, really, because everybody's agog and in shock that people are getting killed off. Just a quick hello to various people in the chat. Miss Martin Muses is in there too. Hello, hope you're well. Flav, Atom Gray. Who else have we got? I think that. Oh, Andrew Broadbent's in there. Hello, Andy. How are you, matey? Hope you're well. Not heard from you in a few days. And our Melv's in there too. So thank you, Franco. Take care, my friend. Off to bed. Yeah. Go on, you were going to say something there.
No, I wasn't. I was just, just thinking MDK. I used to play a computer game called MDK back in the day.
I used to play one called MK. In fact, I still play it. There's nothing like Mortal Kombat unless you've experienced it on the Mega Drive. Yeah, so Warren Smithers, he's about ready to croak too. And it's funny, this AI they've got can replicate what's happening there in real time. Bizarre. There's a lot of foreshadowing to modern day in this film. You know, how people are being socially engineered to be just basically pussies. There's no swearing, there's no salt, there's no meat, nothing. Every facet of your life's controlled. And that's just fucking boring. Living life like paint by numbers just don't work. So for the first time in decades, there's 3 murder, death, kills. Those 3 guys. Warden Smithers. Hey, Smithers, hey. All perpetrated by Simon Phoenix, who's now out and about. They check his... It's like his rap sheet, and it's like looking at Clarence Boddickers. Just scrolling through things, and there's just crime after crime after crime. And I love that. Look at that bubble car thing. He's obviously pinched that.
Cool. Yeah.
That looks really, really cool. I'd like one of those. Look at that saddle. Be like sitting on a razor blade. And I love this scene here. This gets really intense. And he's got this underlying urge to check out Edgar Friendly. And that picture looks contrary to how their civilization is, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's an earlier a photo in his time. But it's, it's a bit weird. So anyway, the police turn up. And this guy in the background holding that pad thing, he says, Simon Phoenix, do as you're told. And the pad tells him, do it again, but in a sterner voice. Which
very
is
good,
always fun.
very good comedic performance.
Yeah. And then we get all these lovely little fight scenes here.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love it. It's well choreographed as well.
Did you know they shot this fight scene in one afternoon because they only had enough budget to shut the road for a few hours?
Really?
Yeah. Kind of cool. Also, Wesley Snipes was told he had to slow down because he moved so quick that his moves were blurred on the camera.
Really?
Classic.
Oh, I've got absolute confidence of the police when they come out with stuff like that. So he dispatches with them, and they're pretty much done for. And I forgot to play a clip, strangely enough. This is earlier in the film, and you get a taste of how things are in this society, future being like that. Have you noticed Bob Gunton, who plays Chief George Earl?
Yeah.
He always seems to play these douches. He comes across as a proper douche nozzle, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got that. He's got a punchable face, I think. Those glasses really don't help either. He looks like he just plays sort of like he could play an evil German scientist in a World War II drama.
I think he might have already done that. In fact, there's another guy who sort of looks like him who's actually German and does do that. Because he was in the Arnie film, wasn't it? Oh, God, is it End of Days?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah. It's a bit weird. Not the usual Arnie staple. So we go back to the cryo prison, and there's only one man who can tackle Simon Phoenix. I bet nobody can guess who it is. It's John Spartan. Conveniently,
defrosting.
Conveniently situated so you can't see his tiny todge. So this is where, where they basically offer him a deal. So Lenina, I have trouble saying that for some reason. Ashen Prism says, the chief is a prick here and a prick in Shawshank. He's a prick in everything, isn't he?
Yeah, it's the punchable face. You just go, I don't like you.
Gavin Blackburn makes a good point here. Still using CRT screens in the future. Well, we're not anymore now, are we? They're a thing of the past now.
They're retro. People use them because they're cool.
Yeah. Being in the retro gaming circles, CRTs are invaluable, especially for games that rely on light guns and such.
Yeah.
Because modern TVs haven't got a refresh rate that will work with them. Atom Gray says, I can't be afraid of a grown man in overalls, sorry.
Oh, you don't have to be afraid of him. You won't get the chance to because he'll just slice your face off and then throw you into a wall that electrocutes you.
Yeah, as you do. Gavin says Bob Gunton knew how to deal with the Cardassians. Well, he did. Yeah.
Ooh. I'm assuming that means he was in Star
this.
Trek. I must have missed that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Not Brian says Sandy Bollocks is some bit of gear. Oh, dear. I love that. That's pretty funny.
Indeed.
So anyway, John Spartan's given his opportunity. And this is the scene where he wants to go for a dump, but he doesn't know how to use the seashells. So he uses the morality code machines and Fs and Jeffs and gets enough to go for a shit. Well, that looks like the kind of paper, you know, toilet paper when you're at school, the tracing paper.
The tracing paper stuff. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Cheap crud.
Guaranteed. You were guaranteed to get a chalk dip every time. Yeah. So anyway, Chief Earl starts telling Spartan, you know, this isn't the 20th century. You can't do this, you can't do that, and you can't do the other. And I love this. Hall of Violence.
In the same font as the game Diablo.
Yeah. Yes. And another game as well. Can you name the other game starring Bruce Willis?
Diablo 2.
Nope. Think PS1, Bruce Willis. Anybody in the chat? Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Feel the burn, kid? No?
No.
Anybody in the chat?
I'm still thinking of a Bruce Willis game.
Yeah, the Bruce Willis game for the PS1. Oh, come on. Somebody in the chat's got to get this one. Because I use the same font as well.
I really can't think. Because obviously it's going to be based on a movie.
It isn't, actually.
Is it not?
No.
Ooh, okay.
Atom Gray says some days 3 seashells isn't enough. Can you imagine having a curry or lentil soup or something like that? And you're shitting through the eye of a needle. How are you going to catch that in a clamshell? Right, nobody in the chat got the game Apocalypse.
Apocalypse? I don't think I
on the
played that.
PS1.
My God. I don't think I played, mind you.
I think he plays Trey Kincaid, or have I got that name from another character?
I don't know.
And they live in a time where science and religion are intertwined. Yeah, Melv's just said Armageddon, something like that. Yes, it was Armageddon. After I'd already said it, Melv. So, yeah, not bad. Parroting. Pete says Grand Theft Moonlighting. Oh, well done, mate. That is the line of the stream so far. So Simon Phoenix goes to this hall of violence, there we go.
By the way, if you go back a slide,
right, yeah,
pictures on the wall are actually from the LA riots.
Really?
I am pretty sure I remember that being true. They're all, you know, because obviously the LA riots happened slightly before the movie was filmed. And so I think these are actual photos from it.
This has just reminded me. Just bear with me a second.
There's a bear with you?
What appears to be your boggle. That I love that. That is just it's just cheesy as fudge, basically.
Absolutely.
Let's see if I can remember where we're on slide 6, weren't I? Yeah. Yeah, it's a bugger. This thing doesn't remember where you are.
Indeed. There we go, 6.
There we go.
So, there we are.
So there's that guy. He's had his boggle. He's been chucked through a window. And Spartan's going to have a crack at driving for the first time in God knows how many years. These cars are actually quite cool.
It's actually a car loaned by General Motors.
Really?
It's a concept car called the Ultralight. General Motors only had one of them, and they ended up building. The production company ended up building a few more as well.
So these are glow rods in the future. These are the weapon of choice of the police. You just tap somebody with one of those and they go sparko. I could do with one of those at bedtime. Instead of like laying there for ages thinking, God, I wish I could get to sleep. You just knock yourself out. Like that alpha wave generator that Doc Brown had in Back to the Future 2. So Simon Phoenix has found all these juicy toys and whatnot, and he starts picking up where he left off with Spartan. And then there's like a preserved underground scene of the big earthquake, that they finally had on the San Andreas Fault, and there's a bit of original LA left over.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Is that the bit where he says time for something new and improved? No, I think that's coming, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's not yet.
A massive thank you to Not Brian as well for the slides. Did a fantastic job with these slides. Thank you, matey. I appreciate that. I'm officially, he is producer Brian,
He is very good.
He's very good at what he does. So Spartan uses this glow rod to energize the water. I learned an interesting fact about water and electricity after all these years.
Mm-hmm.
If you use distilled water, there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it that makes it conductive. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah. So there's that railgun thing there, and I love that bit where he goes, "Time for something new and improved."
This is now something new and improved. Yeah.
Yeah. But Simon's getting a bit of a shock. So there's the new and improved railgun, and I love that. It certainly puts Spartan in his place. But Simon Phoenix uses that as an excuse to get the chuff out. Oh, look at that look of determination on Sly's face. He looks like he's mad enough to go and have a bit of a waffle stomp after he's had his tea.
Still refusing to use the seashells.
Yeah. Now, this is quite interesting. Simon Phoenix makes his escape out of that museum. And then he bumps into this guy. And, he's the father and the cradle of new society. And he's a bit, Dr. Raymond Cocteau.
Bit of a cult.
Played by Nigel Hawthorne. And he's not all what he seems to be. And that bloke in the background, that's Glenn Shattuck's associate Bob. He looks a bit camp. But Simon Phoenix seems to not be able to have the skill set to kill Dr. Cocteau. Look at that red car there. That
Very
looks
nice.
strikingly like the Knight Rider 2000 kit car. I don't know if you've ever seen Knight Rider 2000.
I have a very long time ago.
Kind of looks like that somewhat, doesn't it?
Ooh.
Look at them cars.
This is what I mean. The production company, worked sort of like feverishly to get good-looking cars for the scenes.
I like them. I know they're only concept cars.
Yeah, but it's good. None of them's all production, but still, they're good.
Darkroom has come out with a good thing here. It says Bob Gunton played Captain Benjamin Maxwell, who was O'Brien's captain in the Cardassian War.
Oh, yeah. The one who couldn't admit the war was over.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Interesting point here from Flav. It's a mystery why they all have ammo and firing pins.
Well, they probably didn't know how to deactivate them. So they just, and considering that nobody used them anymore, they just probably put them away thinking, no one's going to care.
I don't know. You'd
think, but,
if you've just joined us, by the way, Monday Night Mayhem number 10, Demolition Man, with Sylvester Stallone, Sandra Bullock, and Dennis Leary. Also Wesley Snipes, to name a few. Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider was entwined with Sylvester Stallone, wasn't he? With this and Judge Dredd. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
We'll do Judge Dredd sometime soon. And in the chat, what's your opinion on Demolition Man? Keep it coming, because I'm enjoying the chat. The last few weeks, chat's been absolutely fantastic, and I love being as interactive as possible. Please subscribe and like the stream, and comment below if you're watching this on the rewind, or do I have to say re-rub? Or is that optional?
Well, it depends if you rub one out first.
Yeah, I don't particularly like that one.
It depends how much you like Sandra Bullock, I suppose. Or
Well,
Sylvester Stallone, not being picky.
Yeah. Quite interestingly, Carl Voigtlander says the red one kind of looks like a Pontiac Firebird. Yeah, which, like I say, is quite similar to the car used in Knight Rider 2000.
Cool.
So anyway, Dr. Cocteau, he can't be shot by Simon Phoenix. I wonder why. Quick hello to Danica Jones 12 in the chat from Twitch.
Indeed.
Or one of your friends. So, yeah, this is all looks a bit implausible at how this guy's pretty much survived. Sly already knows there's a bit of rhubarb and bullshit going off here. He could sniff it out. Do you know Sandra Bullock is well shaggable in this?
She is. The heyday, the big, was this sort of like the start of her career more than anything
Not
else?
far off. She was about 23, 25. But she kind of reminds me of somebody else. I can't quite place it. Looking at her there, she's like, I don't know, she reminds me of somebody. It's just a shame Jesse James has been up her because she's trash now. Bless her.
Oh,
I don't know. She was recently on TV, wasn't she, about having Korean babies' foreskins used to keep her looking young and beautiful.
Luckily enough, I kind of missed all of that, and I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, I wish I didn't fucking know either. So there we go. We've got Raymond Cocktail in the background. Be well, be pleasant. You bring joy feelings. happy, joy, and all that bollocks. Some of the terminology and wording is a bit skew in this movie. Bit weird. But then again, language does evolve over time. So this is San Andreas's basically focal point, and we get a nice view of a manhole cover. And look, there's Simon Phoenix. He's out and about and using these old tunnels and corridors and subways and stuff like that to his advantage. But John's been invited out to lunch at the one and only place to eat, the number one dining experience of the future. Can you remember what it is?
Well, it depends where you are.
Taco Bell.
Well, sort of.
How so?
This is, again, one of my favorite bits. It is Taco Bell if you're in America.
Right.
But back in the 90s, Taco Bell wasn't very big outside of America. But another company that owned Taco Bell also owned Pizza Hut.
You're about the pop company, aren't you?
Yeah. So
one too.
They shot the same scenes twice, one saying Taco Bell and one saying Pizza Hut. And then anything that was, drivable, had livery on the side, was just a magnetic plate that they swapped out.
Right.
So you could have Pizza Hut in a lot of countries and Taco Bell in countries that had Taco Bell. So you could use it all across the world.
Yeah. They also own another fast food chain, one that's finger licking good.
Ooh, very, very nice.
Yeah, do you know why they did that? So that other cola wasn't available to eat in their restaurants. All to do another pop company out of business. Yeah. So this guy's loitering in the background. I forgot what they call. Crikey, I only watched it last night. Oh, what did Cocktail call the people that lived, underground?
Scraps?
Yeah, that's it. It's kind of like a new word for urchin.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a heist going off. And, of course, John Spartan dives in there, starts twatting people like Biffa Bacon in the vids. And there's Edgar Friendly again. And it turns out, they're only stealing food. Cocktail wants these guys gone out of the society. Don't like Bob's hair, but I like the side view there, the side boob of Sandra Bullock.
Would you like to know something interesting?
Well, you can tell me something interesting, but what spunk factor would you give Sandra Bullock dressed like that?
Oh, 6.9.
6.9?
6.9.
I'd be
edging on an 8,
if you're edging, I'd think I'd be at like a wank core breach, to be fair. So tell me about your factoid then, Helpdesk.
That dress that she's wearing, they're all real big stones. It weighed about 40 pounds, if I remember. So that's about 20 kilos in British money.
Bloody hell.
And the bit where she's talking over everything that's happened, she gets rather animated. She ripped the dress.
I'm not surprised.
Which is why for the second half, her hands are completely down by her sides and they don't move, because otherwise you would have seen a lot more than just a bit of side boob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're trying to steal food. Dr. Cocktail, which I find really hard to say, goes back to his evil lair. Because basically, he is evil. You know, he's controlled society that much and turned everybody into pussies. He ain't letting go. Gets back, and there's Simon Phoenix waiting for him.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah. And then Lenina takes John back to her place for a bit of rumpy-bumpy future style. She does look quite biffy there.
She does.
And she makes herself comfy. But instead of having a real shag, they have these stupid shag helmets. Oh, this is interesting. This must have been fun for them to shoot. Oh, just give a kiss. She looks like a fucking goldfish. What the? Anyway, you're totally throwing me with this.
Sorry.
You know, the shag fest is a fail, and he wanted to put some up, and she was totally disgusted by that. Prudish bitch. He's gone home with blue balls, bless him. So anyway, he looks at some footage and bits and bobs, and he can't seem to fathom out why Simon Phoenix didn't kill Cocktail. But there's more to it. And John goes to find out a bit more. And he starts threatening him too. All of a sudden, this guy's gone all these decades without anybody challenging him. And now he's got not just one, but two people giving him a bit of a slap round. I love this scene. Would you like to see a clip?
Oh, please.
Oh, good. Because I love...
Oh, God. This is fantastic. You guys got to try this.
Just don't ask where the meat comes from.
Brian makes a good point here. His balls were blue for 36 years.
Oh, very
true. Oh, do you know?
It's a good scene.
It is. It's a very good scene. And I like this. This is a good one from Flav. Rat burger. Yummy. I'd eat it. I've had a squirrel before. I've had squirrel meat before.
Most of us ate horse and we didn't even know.
Yeah. Oh, you remember? Oh, the Tesco
lasagna.
mascarpone incident. Meat's meat at the end of the day.
Newmarket races 6-1. Tesco Express 2 for 1.
Nothing wrong with a Dobbin burger now and again. So anyway, there's his rat burger bit. Lenina had to give up a Rolex for that, which I thought was quite funny. So Spartan bumps into Edgar Friendly, him and his cronies. And it starts turning out that Edgar Friendly's not so bad after all. But Simon Phoenix is in the underground as well, and he's had a load of his chums defrosted. All these rather scantily clad women as well, they must have been defrosted too. Because there doesn't seem to be that kind of talent hanging around in Square Town, does it, really?
Yeah, I never considered that. I hadn't paid that much attention.
Maybe the pirate hookers or something. So anyway, Simon Phoenix can't believe his luck. He's managed to spot John Spartan with Edgar Friendly, and he's got this underlying urge to get rid of Edgar Friendly. So we have a bit of a roughhouse and a shenanigans session here.
Kapow.
And he's quite well choreographed. But Dennis Leary doesn't seem the kind of guy who... He's still a bit scrawny at this stage. He did get a bit bulky, didn't he, with his... what was that fire program he was in? Oh, bloody hell.
I can't remember.
But he was in one of those, like the early sort of, like... Oh, God. I'm just going to...
CSI type things, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, Simon Phoenix gets away and he steals one of these robo-car things. And Spartan manages to find a car in an old dealership. And it's still viable. It's been stood for 30-odd years. And it's still viable. Look at that.
A classic.
A muscle car of all things.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that they still work. I mean, I'm not sure what the shelf life is on petrol.
Not very long, and it's still running. The battery's fine, and it's got a full tank of petrol. Pretty good going. That it's all very fucking convenient as well, isn't it?
Indeed.
So anyway, we have a bit of a rough house. And this is quite a good scene. He does actually get quite close. I know it's pretty much it's all safe effects and stuff. That's it. Rescue me, Mel says in the chat. Yeah, that was it. I just got so stuck on that one. And this is a good bit. You know when he gets control of the car and he can't stop it?
Yeah.
And it crashes. And the car fills up with this safety foam. What a fantastic idea.
It's a good
If only
concept.
that was... Pardon?
It's a good concept.
It is. If they could do that now, because people are just twats on the road these days.
Yeah.
Look at how many channels there are on YouTube where they've got all dashcam stuff. In fact, I've got some interesting dashcam stuff to upload because after I'd done the school run this morning, a farmhouse around the corner was having like some new gate posts fitted, and this guy was bent over with his arse crack showing on a bend. So everybody that drove past could see his crack quite. I'll send you a screenshot when I get the footage off the disc.
No, that's fine. Please don't.
Oh, all right then. I did offer. So anyway, I love this. Benjamin Bratt's character in this is he's a breath of fresh air, isn't he, really? He plays it so low-key. So Alfredo Garcia is now one of the underground scraps. Dennis Leary's teaching him some rum things. So we get to this realization now that Cocktail's behind all this bollocks, what's been cracking off. He wants people like Edgar Friendly out the way, so his utopia is perfect. And that's why we discover that Simon Phoenix has been let out on purpose and given military training, while John Spartan's good for doing doilies. He can knit like nobody's business. What a useless skill. So Cocktail he gets sort of caught in his own trap of his own fucking sheer fucking hubris, shall we say.
Indeed.
And he's rather confident, saying, well, there's nothing you can do about it, Simon. You can't actually kill me. So he says, oi, Baldy, shoot that dude. And he does it. And Cocktail's dead. Oh, look at that. That's a you've got it coming, mate face, isn't it?
See, they could have used that plot in Black Widow. She didn't need to smash her nose against a table.
True. And then they give him a leg and a wing into the fire.
Yeah, hide the evidence.
I love that. Associate Bob, and he says, oh, I can be of much help to you and whatnot. And he's looking a bit worried. So we get to another fight scene now. This is at Cocktail's place. And Lenina takes out somebody for the first time. And then they discover Cocktail is now a El Rato burger.
Oh, copped off.
But then John zaps her so she doesn't get hurt. He knows she hasn't got what it takes to be in a big fight, basically. So he thinks, hang on a minute, if I sort her out, if I knock her out a little bit, I can get round to getting rid of this twat. So we end up back at the cryogenic prison facility. And it's quite funny because this is the part where he says, Jeffrey Dahmer, I love that guy. And as we discussed earlier, Jeffrey Dahmer was dispatched himself a year later.
He would have been rat burgers by this point, yeah.
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 There's a nice meme of a mug that says "Just Eat" and it's got Jeffrey Dahmer on it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do like that.
Yeah.
In a morbid
have you
way.
seen that one? Have you seen that one?
I haven't. No.
Oh. I'll send you a copy. It's over on. It's on my Facebook. If you were, I think I put it on there.
Oh, I think I have the tech old enough to go and look at the Facebooks again.
Yeah. So Spartan's still in this car, which is still running. There's not a bloody scratch on it. It looks perfect. I just find that wholly disbelievable. And yet he's got a nice shooter as well. Where did he get the Roscoe from? I'm not quite sure. So he sneaks back into the prison facility, the cryo prison. And Associate Bob works for Simon Phoenix now, which is quite funny. He's very adaptable, is Bob. And he sort of bends for anybody, doesn't he? If you know what I mean.
I think everybody does. Let's carry on.
Yeah. So anyway, we start shooting. We're building up to a climax. It's not at all a cliche. There's no cliches at all in this film.
Oh, no, none at all.
Yeah. I'm quite interested to know what the chat think about the final bit of this film. So come on, chat, join in. What's your opinion on Demolition Man? Tell me what you think. And I'll put it up on the screen.
I've just realised something. I just had to look it up. Can you go back to the wide shot of all the scraps?
I can't without a load of fannying about.
All right, don't then. On the re-rub, if you can, go back, have a look at the shot of the scraps. On the right-hand side, there was a guy, and I looked at him and went, "God, that looks like Jack Black." It was.
Really?
It was Jack Black.
Right, I'm just going to IMDb this now to see if there's anybody in it who was bigger later.
I just had to look.
Credit. I'm just wondering because Wasteland Scrap.
Yeah,
he's in there.
He is.
And if you notice, the guy who plays Zachary Lamb was the guy in Enterprise who invented transporters. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Because he was looking for his son. Because he tried out the transporter on him, and he became sort of out of phase with our space-time continuum.
Yeah.
So Flav says one of the scraps gives him a gun, so that answers that.
Mm-hmm.
I like this, what Brian says. I had to censor a gratuitous frozen undercarriage shot in this scene. I might have to go back for that. And then Ashen Prism says, you kept that shot for your private collection, eh, Brian? Oh, well, here we go. Pete says, DM is good, but could benefit from Sandra Bullock dressed as a French maid. Just a thought.
Wasn't that Miss Congeniality?
I don't know. I think so. Oh, what's this one? This is a good point. Gavin Blackburn says, Jack Black's best role was in The Jackal with Bruce Willis. Yeah, he made him shit his pants, didn't he?
Was he in The Jackal?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I saw
He was the guy
Bruce
that sold
Willis
him
one.
some equipment, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, of course he was.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Jack Black gets around.
Yeah. I tell you, one of the worst films he was in. He was in Mars Attacks, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
The first soldier to get creamed by the aliens.
Interesting movie, that one. Well, I think we should do a Monday night on Mars Attacks.
Oh no, fucking it. Do you know? I'm not.
We'll do it after Face Off.
That's in 3 weeks' time. That'll be for Z. Z got to pick that one, didn't he? He found the Umatron moment. Oh God, what film was it? I can't remember.
Nor can I. I just remember Face Off being the winner.
Was it Hackers? No, it wasn't. Was it? Or was it?
Wasn't Starship Troopers? Was it Hackers?
It was Starship Troopers. Ah, Radcheck.
Ooh, Matron.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny, that. Mel says in the chat, Demolition Man's okay, 6 out of 10, fun action movie, but not exceptional. I agree with that assessment.
I think they tried to go for a comedy movie with action.
I don't know. This is the kind of film...
it
tries too hard.
Yeah.
It tries too hard. It's full of cliches.
Yeah.
Stallone's acting isn't great. And, I mean, just look at this. He gets picked up by one of the... like a crane thing, what picks the chunks of ice out of the cryo cells. And it just looks like he's getting ready to waffle stomp. You didn't have to, I learned that fact. That's all I think of now. Every time I hear Sylvester Stallone, I just imagine him in the shower, stomping that waffle. Simon Phoenix is having a great time here. He's like a kid on Christmas morning. He's got Spartan well and truly grabbed. And he's banging him around from side to side. But then Spartan uses a bit of ingenuity for a change. He sciences the shit out of this situation and uses the hydraulic line, doesn't he, to freeze the metal so it becomes brittle, which is quite good.
Nice.
But Simon's got the plasma cutter for cutting the ice from around prisoners. That's a look of determination on his face. Let's just have a quick roundup of what's going on in the chat. Can Mel says that comment where he says 6 out of 10. Graham Blackburn says Melvin is right as per usual. Hey, he always is. Good lad. A lot of time for Melv. Ashton Prison says, I agree, Melv. 6 out of 10, but on the good side of 6 out of 10, where it's entertaining, though. Yes, I agree with that. That's a really, really good comment, Ashton. I like that one. Pete says in the chat, do Back to the Future. There's definitely 3 different Marty McFlys just in the first one. Well, yeah. There's a lot of crossing the streams. Ashton says, do Back to the Future, but only have Timey on, as he's subject matter expert. Yeah, but I could say the same for Blade Runner. What is your forte, Pete? Is it Blade Runner or is it Back to the Future? I'm quite interested to know what you think there. Not Brian says, works better in 2025 than in 1993. Fun movie, decent story, very good performances all round. And it made a good meme as well. I remember when I used to use my older internet handle as my username, I posted that meme of Stallone swearing into the moral code machine. And it says, this film predicted this, that, and the other. And I got about 4,000 or 5,000 likes out of that one. I'll have to go back and look through my timeline.
Cool.
Yeah. It was my best performing tweet. Oh, no. MC has just joined us. He says, oh, man, I didn't get a notification. Love Demolition Man. Great fun film. Evening all. Evening, MC. Thank you for joining us, mate. Better late than never. You can always catch us on the rerun. So this plasma gun, Simon's having a whale of a time with that. Spartan's very good at running around. In fact, that's what he seems to do a hell of a lot of in this final act of the film. He just runs around. Just like, I need a shit. And then we get to the fighting bits. I wonder if that's supposed to be Jeffrey Dahmer then in that ice cube. Oh, can you imagine that? Bits of Jeffrey Dahmer ice cubes in your drink.
No, I'd rather not. Ew.
Interesting. Pete says, he's got back to us. Genuine answer, I realise my angle is figuring out script mysteries. Well, still no clue about how Michael Caine gets that gold at the end of the Italian job, unfortunately.
They let the air out the tyres.
Yeah, there is that.
It changes the balance because of, buoyancy and stuff.
Yeah. So we're getting ready for a climactic ending here. Old Simon's giving him a bit of a slap around. Oh, God, I've just realised there. So somebody's in that ice cube. They've got a semi on. Or a rather generous lob. Can you see that? There's a cock next to us.
Ryan, you forgot to edit them out. Oh, no.
I'd be proud to have that. That's like a fucking horse's cock or something. Massive. Jesus. It's bigger than a baby's arm.
Well, no monetization on this video then.
Oh, I'm not out for monetization. You know that. So if you look there, there's a bit of a MacGuffin there. That's going to be very useful in just a moment. Can you see that blue light emanating from that rod?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. I wonder what that could be used for. Apart from double... Oh, God, I'm going to have to get rid of that picture. That's doing me head in. So anyway, Spartan's picked up that thing, and it's not that dude's cock, although it is about the same fucking size looking at it. Jesus. God, my brother would fucking love this. Bumming to me. My brother has learnt very well from me. He now goes up to people and says, when he starts a conversation, fancy a bum? And they're like, what? So anyway, that tube, right, has got...
Sorry, Gavin Blackburn has the answer for us there. It was Liam Neeson in that ice block.
Really?
Explain the long dong.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've never seen Liam Neeson's cock, and neither would I want to either.
He pees down his leg when he can't be bothered.
Fucking hell.
I'm not even joking about that. He's standing having a conversation. He just pees down his leg because he can't be bothered to go to the toilet. You can Google it if you don't believe me.
You know, when God was giving out cocks, I was at the back of the fucking queue, bastards. So anyway, this thing contains like a cryogenic starter, doesn't it? Like a little blue pill, not a red pill. Isn't that weird? If you take the blue pill, you get frozen. You go back to sleep. Funny that.
Mm.
And this is before Matrix. So Spartan cracks it on the floor, and then this blue freezing shit kicks off. And Wesley Snipes seems to have really small feet. Those shoes look weird. Oh, there we go. You've got a bit of work to do there. We've had a spammer.
Yep, I'm already in your chat.
Bye, asshole. That's all, folks. Yeah, so Spartan sets off this chain reaction, but he's smart, you see. He knows the score, so he jumps on this crane, and while everything's getting frozen, he's conveniently dangling around. Oh, look, and then Simon gets thoroughly chilled out. He's basically an ice cube. We know what's going to happen here. It's like
decapitation.
Yeah, like liquid nitrogen. He's frozen to the core. I don't think he'll be coming back from that, do you?
I love the fact the hair has just stayed almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you can defrost from being
an Highlander. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone to bits, literally. So anyway, everything goes a bit icy and a bit tits up and a bit pear-shaped. This almost looks sort of Judge Dreddy, doesn't it, at this point? This set. It's just basic theme, isn't it, with Stallone action movies? Loads of sparks, pyrotechnics. Although there's a lot of good practical effects and the sets are quite good in this.
Yeah.
You know?
Beautiful sets.
Yeah. So look at that face. That's a face to waffle stomp to, isn't it? You shit in the shower. I'm going to run away. So the cryo prison, that's going to get thoroughly bollocksed. And it is. And as usual, you know, the cavalry turns up too late, as per usual. There's Chief Earl. And everybody's like, we're all mates now. We've got rid of Cocktail. Society, the wheels might come off a little bit, but it's not going to be a dystopia. That's funny coincidence, how everybody's sold on this utopia, but it's not a utopia. It's a prison. It's a prison. They don't realize it. These people are being imprisoned because that Cocktail's a pure fucking dictator.
It becomes a dictatorial state. You have one person making all the decisions.
And there's Benjamin Bratt's character again. Oh, he's going to be... I think there's going to be a bit of Wurzel Bummage going off here.
He went through a character arc. Something really missing in movies these days.
Yeah. His arc, though, he's almost like he's the comic relief of this movie.
Yeah, I can see that. But it worked.
Hello to MC in the chat. So anyway, bodily fluid transmissions are thoroughly banned in this society, but he's going to get some. He's going to put some spunk up her. You could tell it's going to happen.
There is a word for people who spend money when it comes to shagging a woman.
Hunters.
Moving swiftly on.
I'm waiting for the answer.
No, there's no answer to that one. I'm sure there is a name for it.
Yeah, a punter.
Smiling nicely, shiny forehead. Yes. Move on. Next slide, please.
Well, that's it. We're at the end, my friend.
Oh, you not got one of the credits? Oh no.
Nah, we don't need that shit. But I just thought because it's just me and you tonight, we can be efficient.
Get all the way through. It's pretty good. It's a good movie. I like it. It's worth sitting down, having a drink with a group of people who haven't seen it and just enjoying it.
It's one of those, though, you'd have to watch it after a long break to thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it's good, but it's kind of subpar for that era.
I don't know about subpar. I think it was different to a lot of other films that came out around the same time. I think it tried to sort of like add comedy into the action, whereas a lot of other movies were sort of like action with occasional comedy. If that makes sense. No.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, there was better stuff around at the time. action-wise.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else came out in '93.
Yeah.
I'm going to click some buttons and have a
Yeah,
look.
why not?
Top movies of 1993. So, Fugitive came out.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day. Schindler's List.
I've seen Schindler's Fist, but that wasn't.
True
that was a different
Romance
movie.
came out. Jurassic Park, obviously.
Yeah.
Was 1993 the one that had the famous space movie? Or was that another one?
No. Are you thinking about Armageddon and
No.
Deep Impact and stuff?
Yeah.
Is that the one you're thinking of? What?
No, the 1993 space movie. I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know.
Do not Google 1993 space movie.
Why?
Ho! No, the stream will be taken offline. There were some good movies coming out. Action, Demolition Man, Cliffhanger. Other than that, it's things like Sleepless in Seattle, Addams Family Values.
Oh, gold.
Yeah.
Not a good year then. So
not too great. So
this was doing well then for the year, and it had got stuff like Groundhog Day and The Fugitive.
Yeah. So it
was weird. Right. I don't know. Crikey. My chair's gone again. Bloody hell.
Oh no, not another hospital trip. Don't do that.
No. I'll stay where I am this time. I'm quite comfortable.
Right, two other things I've read up about this movie.
Go on.
Wesley Snipes refused to sit still. He's constantly moving in every scene, and on a lot of occasions, they just block the cameras around him rather than the director telling him where to go.
Yeah,
because he was just hyperactive the entire time. He also insisted on doing his own
smoking loads of wacky backy because he did on Blade.
He also insisted on doing all his own stunts.
Really?
And they went back at night when he was asleep and filmed them again with a stunt coordinator.
Apparently, in the goof section on IMDb, where's it gone? Let me just go back because it comes out with a really good point here. Towards the beginning, when gasoline is everywhere and Simon holds the torch close to the ground, it should ignite. It's the fumes that ignite, not the gasoline itself. That's a very good point.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah. And this is a good one as well. Yeah. Several times during the movie, Simon Phoenix's shoulder pads, one side resembles like a tire. They switch sides constantly. Not only that, but Phoenix has two different coloured eyes. Left blue, right brown, which also switch sides. So obviously they've been flipping the negatives around.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never actually paid attention to the eyes, but I saw the tires because you can see them in the screenshots. Did you know there was a plot that got taken out as well?
Go on.
Well, obviously Spartan's been frozen. There's nothing to say he didn't have children. So a plot that was in there was that one of his descendants was actually a scrapper.
Really?
It was it daughter or granddaughter? And the test audiences got confused as to whether or not that was supposed to be Sandra Bullock. So when they had the whole sleeping together scene, people got really confused. So they just deleted that plot point from the entire movie.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either.
Yeah. Weird.
Very cool.
I know, it's a bit short and sweet tonight. We've got to the point in record time.
We have. How long is Demolition Man?
115 minutes.
Oh. We beat it.
Yeah.
We've done well. Nice.
Yeah. And we got some movie clips in there too.
We have indeed.
And we've used those under fair usage. So if the bots come along.
Which they always do.
Yeah.
At some point.
Mind you, at the end of the day, it's free promotion for their film. So you'd think they'd be a bit more grateful, wouldn't you, really?
Oh, you'd think.
Yeah.
Right.
Alonzo Mosley in the chat says, this is quite good. I like this. Fry, don't sleep with your grandmother.
Fair.
That's a good one. Oh, what about these cookies, baby? When she does that. Well, I'm not going to drag it out because that would be pointless. So what I'll do, I'll call it an hour and a half, because I think that's just wraps things up nicely. So if anybody else in the chat's got anything to say, Brian, should I reveal what's coming next week? I want to ask producer Brian. I want to see what you think, matey.
Oh, whilst you're waiting for that,
yeah,
Jean-Claude Van Damme was also considered for the role, as well as
God.
Steven Seagal.
Oh, Steven Seagal, he's a knob.
I've been watching some of his old stuff recently, and it has not aged well. It's so bad. He spends all his time just randomly, slightly backhand slapping people.
He's not actually doing anything. He's just like wafting
It's
around.
so bad.
Oh, apparently he's such an arrogant prick. You can't tell. Anyway, Brian says yes. Do you want to tell people what next week is? Do you know? Can you remember?
I've slept since the last time you told me.
Right.
I don't remember.
Next week, we will be going to 1989. Tim Burton. Michael Keaton.
Nope, not sure yet.
No?
No.
Comic book adaptation, DC. We'll be covering Batman.
No.
Where you don't rub another man's rhubarb.
No. You're going to have to tell me.
Batman? Batman, anybody?
What?
Batman?
Who?
We're doing Batman.
Oh. Don't know.
So
Haven't heard of him.
We're doing Batman.
Just a small niche movie, is it? Something a little bit understated?
Well, Brian got to pick that one. So I said, yeah, we'll go with it. MC says Batman, yeah. Pete says, what else do I like to discuss? Total Recall, Trev. It's absolutely not a vague ending. There's a definitive answer or a definite answer to the implant question.
Oh.
Really? Really?
Is that the new Total Recall?
No.
I say
there's only one Total Recall. The one from 1990, the Paul Verhoeven one. The other one is just a fucking joke.
It was absolutely terrible.
And what made it worse? Fucking Colin Farrell.
Yeah. But he was the hot thing at the time, so...
I tell you something, he's good as the Penguin.
Oh, yeah. Did quite well there.
I liked him as the coach in The Gentleman. Did you see that movie?
No, I haven't seen The Gentleman.
I
have a lot of movies on my list. I've been doing other things recently, so I've missed out on a lot.
It's not one to enjoy if you've got kids around. It's one for after bedtime, if you know what I mean.
Fair play.
It's got Charlie Hunnam in it as well from Sons of Anarchy.
Ooh.
Who plays a good role. He actually gets to do his own real voice, his Geordie accent.
Interesting.
Yes.
Just adding it to my list.
His first big break in entertainment was given to him by Russell T Davies, of all people.
Oh.
Because he was in Queer as Folk. It's funny that. My missus loves that show. And I can't bear to watch it. There's just something about it that makes me tighten up and clench, and I get very uncomfortable. It's not for me.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I mean, it has its niche audience, and we've seen what happened to him.
Well, there's something for everybody, but not for me in this instance. No. I'll take a wide berth. I'd sooner watch Prisoner Cell Block H, to be fair.
That is desperation.
Isn't it? Yeah. Hey, we've got some good stuff lined up. So it's...
do tell.
Batman next week. Mm-hmm. In fact, I should be reeling off some dates. Let me just... my phone's gone into super battery saver mode. So on the 24th, we'll be doing Batman. On the 31st of March, we'll be doing Highlander.
Ooh.
Looking forward to doing that. And then on the 7th of April, Z gets his pick. So we'll be doing Face Off on the 7th of April. That came round quick. And I should have done Big Trouble in Little China tonight, you know. I'm glad I didn't because of the lack of availability of people. Because everybody seems to be busy tonight or washing their hair. But today is Kurt Russell's 74th birthday.
Ah, happy birthday!
I did not know that.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, he's a good dude, Kurt Russell. I like a lot of his films.
I don't know people's birthdays. I just rely on an email from Moonpig telling me I need to send someone a card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you must have plenty of dosh. It's not a cheap thing, is it, Moon? That particular other card companies are available. Just
absolutely.
Ashen Prism says some bangers coming up. Ashen, what do you reckon? Is there something you think we should be doing? Because I am open to suggestion. Because this show is as much yours as it is everybody else's. It's for everybody, and I like people suggesting stuff. I like to give people what they like. If they think we should be doing like robot jocks or some other crappy things. What are you laughing at? Robot jocks is class.
No, that's fine. No, I quite like terrible movies, and there are some really good bad movies. If that
there is.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got a new series of films, movies, actually, little documentary acts coming out soon, called Solid Bs, where I'll be delving into the world of B movies that people might have forgot about. It's starting soon.
I love a good terrible B movie. I really do.
Yeah, that'll be once a fortnight, but that's an actual video in itself. So that'll be bi-monthly.
There were some really classic ones in sort of like the 70s and 80s. And are you just sticking to sort of like English-speaking ones? Because there were some absolute dire Turkish ones featuring a guy called Serdar.
Oh, yeah. My eldest son, he's 27. And he's into all that shit. And he shows me some of these things. And it's like, oh, my God.
Turkish Rambo is one of the funniest things I have ever seen. It's so ridiculous. Or the Turkish version of Captain America.
I have seen that
with evil Spider-Man. It's so bizarre.
Have you seen? There's a spoof Italian Spider-Man that is absolutely awesome.
The Italian one, yes, that's certainly funny.
It's made by it was actually made in Australia. The people who did Danger 5. Dario Russo, I think.
I know the name
David
Dario
Ashby.
Russo, but yeah. I don't think I've seen Danger 5.
Oh, you're missing out there.
I know Italian Spider-Man, but no, the Turkish one was supposed to be a serious movie, and it's ridiculous.
But it's not.
It features a scene where evil Spider-Man has one of his minions' eyes eaten out by guinea pigs.
As you do.
As you do. The guinea pig walks down a drain pipe towards his eyes.
It could happen in Pets at Home. By some bizarre coincidence. Gavin Blackburn in the chat says Battle Beyond the Stars. Yes, that I'm gonna do on a solid B. Because that is one of my I've got this really, really deep love of films that are so crap. That they're good.
Starting with sort of like Plan 9 from Outer Space.
I don't know. That goes past a point.
I know, but listen, the lead actor died sort of like a third of the way through filming. But they wanted to keep his face in it. It was Bela Lugosi. He was famous. So they got someone else to play the part who just held a cloak over his face for the rest of the movie. It didn't matter that he was a foot taller and totally different color hair.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And that's sort of like just 5 or 6 shots that they just continually reuse throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, weird. MC says, I was watching a clip from Italian Spider-Man tonight. That is such a fun spoof. And at one time or another, I was friends with David Ashby on Facebook. I didn't actually know him. I was just a fan. He's in Danger 5 as well.
Oh, man.
See, everybody knows something what somebody else doesn't. And I like that. That is really good.
That's where I got my name from, the Internet Helpdesk, because I know a lot of garbage about very pointless things.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it's good in a pub quiz, I suppose.
Oh, it is. It's just none of the information I have is relevant to any pub quiz I've ever been in.
MC makes a great comment here, and I like this one. He says, great film, Battle Beyond the Stars. It is. Roger Corman. The art director was a guy called James Cameron. I wonder whatever happened to him. Not sure. He said it's the film Rebel Moon wanted to be. Rebel Moon is shite. Everybody gushes over it. Oh, it's Zack Snyder. I don't care.
Zack Snyder was a one-trick pony. He created something that he got taken off of Justice League, and another director finished it. So everyone was sort of like, oh no, Zack Snyder would have had the original vision, so release the Snyder cut. He's now got it into his head that everything he does needs a Snyder cut. But if you're the director on it, the only way you can make a director's cut that's better is to either take something good out of the movie to save it for the director's cut, or to intentionally make a shit movie.
Yeah.
So he's shot himself in the foot. He's a one-trick pony. He's had his time, and it's just he needs to stop. He needs to do a $1 million movie and see if he can achieve a good film, and then go on to the big stuff again.
Oh, I've just reminded myself. I've got a bit of an announcement to make. This coming Friday. This is the announcement I was going to make last week, but the wheels kind of came off last Friday. Last Friday's show on Fubar Friday. But what I was trying to say is that this coming Friday is the last Fubar Friday in the series.
Dun dun dun.
A new show will be replacing it. Next Wednesday, we start with The Hump.
Wanky Wednesdays.
Well, with it being Hump Day, middle of the week, it's all downhill to the weekend.
Fair play.
I thought we'd go for Wednesdays, 10 p.m. The Hump, new show, which will replace Fubar Friday. Fubar Friday might come back. I'm just resting it for a little while. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Save it for a special edition.
Yeah, we might do it every now and again.
Sounds like plan.
Yeah. But I thought, it's kind of had its run. And I did try to get it across last week, but, like I say, we went off on a tangent. I nipped to the bathroom, came back, and you're on about Doctor Who, and it's like, hey, what the hell's going off?
It was a good conversation.
It was.
It was.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, we're going to start wrapping things up now.
Yes, indeed.
I would like to say a big thank you, Helpdesk. Thank you for joining me this evening. And I've had a cracking time. We've been quite efficient. Two's enough. Any more would have been a bit of a waste. So I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. MC, Melv, Ashen, Carl, Timey-Wimey, Flav, Gavin Blackburn, and anybody else who I might have missed. And also thank you to Franco for dropping in earlier. Thank you for joining us tonight on Monday Night Mayhem.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Next week, we're doing Batman. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. This coming Friday from 10 p.m., the last Fubar Friday for a while. Enjoy the rest of